That's interesting. Alpha Flora's come in, it's gone into Toga. Hello everybody, welcome to Chaz Draycott Media and welcome to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today we are on the ground at the gorgeous Split, I can't remember the second name. It's got another second name anyway that I can't remember, but yeah, the gorgeous Split Airport in Croatia. It's right near the water, right on the coast. It's covered in mountains or surrounded by mountains, and it looks absolutely resplendent here today on Microsoft Flight Simulator, and so does this thing as well. This is Delta Alpha India November Zulu, the Hauptstadtflieger Lufthansa Airbus A320neo from Fly-by-Wire, and today is another one of my charter flights. Thank you very much to Tim Weissker, I think that's how I'm saying it. He's chartered this one today where we're going to be going from Split in Croatia up to Munich. We're going back to Munich again. I've been there quite a few times recently, but I really do like Munich. It's a very, very big airport. We're going to be jumping on to VATSIM, so we're going to be connecting to vPilot. We are today Lufthansa... Oh, God, I've got all this written down and I keep putting the checklist thing down. We are Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey. I've decided that when I'm doing these charters, I'm going to put the initials of the person who's chartered it as part of the call sign, which I thought people may appreciate. We're connected to VATSIM. By the look of it on Volanta on my right hand screen here, we've got nobody online on ATC anywhere near us. There's London Centre on in the UK, but obviously we're going nowhere near that. Munich Tower might be on actually. Yeah, Munich Tower is on, so we'll see whether we can take advantage of that when we get a little bit closer. But still, we're going to get things started in just a second here for this flight. But yeah, thank you once again, Tim Weissker, for chartering this one. There has actually spawned in another aircraft on the ground there. Leipzig Air 737 has just spawned in. I don't think there's anybody else around. No, it's just us two on the ground here at the moment, but still, I think that's pretty cool that we've got another aircraft in the vicinity. Okay, into the cockpit we go. Let me get my procedures list up on here. Sorry. I've not set my paperwork up very well ahead of this one, have I, to be honest? I've got my checklist that Drew gave me in the previous video. If you haven't watched that, by the way, go back and watch it. It's an absolute riot with Drew. We shared a cockpit and had a lot of fun. We're going to go up top and we're going to do the usual. We're going to put the external power on after the batteries, that is. Boom, on it goes. APU master switch will come on, although to be fair, we're going to wait. We're going to go to the crew oxygen supply, ADIAS to nav 1, 2 and 3. We're going to put the strobe onto auto, nav and logo onto 1. We're going to put the emergency exits to arm and the no smoking signs to auto. But then what I want to do is just come down here, get the iPads turned on, get the coffees out of the way, and we'll import the SimBrief data. It's already brought it in, that's fantastic news. And then we can start messing with the MCDU. So we go to ATSU, then AOC menu, init press, init data request, and there it is, 6 Tango Whiskey. And then we'll go to init request. Is that another aircraft spawn next to us? No, just some of the ground handling stuff. We're at stand 4 here at Split, and we're going to get the stairs operated, go back onto the GSX menu and request boarding. We're going to do our fire tests. APU fire test is done, engine 1 and engine 2. So we'll put APU master switch on and then start the pup. While that's starting, then we pop the APU bleed on. We're going to come back to the procedures list here, make sure strobe, interior lights, emergency exits and all that. Fuel pumps we'll put on. We leave the centre ones on until we're definitely done with refueling. I remember Drew telling me that. And then make sure that the flight directors are on, which they are, and then we can start setting up the MCDU. So let me just put that down there. We've got init already. Go to the init B page. Yeah, we'll pop the 0 fuel weight, and I'm pretty sure that, yeah, you do it like this. Block fuel today is going to be 4.936, so I'm going to put 5. And then I think Drew said on init B, when you get all that in correctly, you then get a bit of a plan your extra time. We've got 2.3 tons of fuel and an extra 1 hour 45 minutes time, so that should be absolutely golden. We'll go to flight plan LDSP and we're going to put in the departure. Looking at the charts today, you can see it's not a very long flight at all. Should be about, what was the block time? 1 hour 40 minutes block time on this today. We're on the Zadar 1 Whiskey departure for runway 05. That's going to be right down at the bottom. There it is, Zadar 1 Whiskey. At Munich, we're going to be on, I think we're on ILS 8 left, and then the arrival was the NAPSA 4 Alpha. NAPSA for Alpha. DM450 transition. Approach via. There we go. So let's now go on to plan. Let's just switch this knob here to plan. Put that on 20. And we'll step this bit by bit on here to make sure that on this screen it all looks normal. There's NAPSA. Yep. It does that, so it goes in a straight line. I'll show you on here, look. Goes in a straight line, OTT, and then you'd carry on to DM450 and then turn in. So you basically vector yourself in for the last part of the flight. I'm happy with that. We'll go back to ARC on here, keep it on 20 miles. And then we need to get the data for today's flight, the QNH. QNH at the moment is 1030 here, so wow, it's very high QNH. Pop that on. I'll put constraints on there. I tend to do that on both sides. QNH is matched up on either side. QNH is cross-checked. Let's just go on to the checklist that Drew gave me. I'm going to be spending a lot of time swapping these over. So cockpit preparation checklist then. Aircraft acceptance is completed. Fuel quantity, oh, we need to make sure 4140 on there, so we need to put the fuel in. We need to start beginning the boarding actually, and we'll begin fueling. Okay, as you can see, refueling is beginning. I think to request boarding I need to get rid of my stairs here. Do I? I need to close that and get rid of the stairs? I don't know. I've clicked jet bridge and more stairs are now coming towards us. I'm going to restart the coatl for GSX. Anyway, while that's going on, the fueling has been done, so we're going to go back to the checklist that Drew sent me and go over this. Oh, hello. The very American pilot of Lufthansa. Fuel quantity is 5,000 kilos, and we'll check balanced in here, I think he said. Where's fuel?
Flight attendants will be coming through the cabin shortly.
Yeah, balanced. Seatbelt signs on. Now that we've finished fueling, ideas to nav, Barrow Ref is QNH 1030. That is cockpit preparation checklist complete. Oh, we've got a different type of tug now. Here's the split airport stairs. We should be able to get boarding. Right, what I want to do next is make sure that the radios and stuff are tuned in. We're going to get on Unicom because there's nobody here by the look of it. No, nothing around. So we'll go on to Unicom. We are on 122.8 already, actually. So we'll disconnect the external power. Oh, there we go. We are getting some boarding. Flipping heck. Actual stuff. There's the bus. Okay, that might mean some beauty shots for you lot. Chaz. It's just like GSX needed a bit of a reminder that it exists there then. So let's get our initial altitude in, shall we? I'm going to still follow the procedures list because I don't know it off by heart. Sorry, Drew. We need to get our initial altitude all set on here, which is part of the departure. Let's go on the chart for that. Initial stop altitude. Let's have 4,000 in there. We also need to do our takeoff performance, don't we? We need to go to Perth and get these sorted. So let's go to the iPad. Pretty sure it's on here. Yes, airport. So it is LDSP, is it? Runway 05. Wind at the moment. We need to actually go back to the other tab on the iPad here. Wind is 90 degrees at 8 knots. 90 at 8. Temperature outside is 11 degrees. And the QNH is 1030. Takeoff weight. We need to get our takeoff weight today. We can get that from here, can't we? Takeoff weight 47.3. Takeoff weight 47.3. We're going to do optimal config, thrust flex, anti-ice off, packs on. Calculate. What does it need? Oh, you can just do that. Oh, it wants it in kilos. Sorry. 135, 135, 137. Is that in there? No. Is that right? Yeah. Flaps 1. Flex the temp 70. Cool. Get rid of that GPS primary on there. Banging. So they're still boarding the aircraft behind us, so we'll give it another moment or so. And yeah, then we'll get ready for pushback and departure. I remember Drew saying something about putting packs off, so when we get ready for start, we're going to turn the packs off. We can put the centre fuel pumps on now that we are done refueling. We'll turn the external power off. We'll change over to the APU. Now Obviously boarding was a little bit late today, a little bit delayed, so that's why we're taking a bit longer here to get ready. But yeah, by the look of it, everything is all good to go. I've got no other issues or anything like that. We just need to whack the beacon light on when we get ready to go. Seatbelt signs are now on. Should be good to depart here from Split. Thanks once again to Tim for chartering this one. Should be a lot of fun, this flight. Very, very excited for this one. Especially with the conditions at the moment. It's looking mighty beautiful out there. I wonder what it's like in Munich, actually. Let's have a look on here at the weather in Munich. It is freezing in Munich, and it's 1036, and it's a little bit windy. So we're going to need anti-ice on the way down, because the dew point is 0 as well. So I'll have to be cautious of that when we get below, well, when we start the cruise, I guess, or not the cruise, flipping it, Chaz, what's the word? Descent. The before start checklist is parking brake on, takeoff data confirmed, windows closed, PEDs, which is personal electronic devices, flight mode, doors closed and armed, and beacon on. So it's literally just closing the doors, getting everybody sat down, and then putting the beacon on now. The Leipzig Air 737 out the window is definitely not moving Europe at the moment. Not going anywhere. The only thing that lets this airport down really is the van textures. There's a few vans about that. Eesh. It's nice to be back in Alpha India November Zulu again, actually. It's an aircraft that I'd flown before, but it's not often that I'll sort of return to an aircraft once I've already done a flight in it, so yeah, it's cool to be back in this one. We'll lock that cabin door, shut everybody up so we don't have to listen to them back there. We are going to squawk 2000 today as well, because there's no ATC on here. I'm going to put predicted wind shear on a little bit early as well, make sure that we've got that. And there's the bong from GSX to let us know that we're boarded, so perfect timing. We can now operate the stairs, get them out of here. There he goes. And we'll prepare for pushback and departure. So, as Drew taught me in the previous video, you prepare for pushback, or at least in their airline they do. They get the tug and everything attached, and then that's when you call up for pushback. So you can do it immediately if the ATC so requires it. So we'll whack beacon light on. All doors and everything are closed, seatbelt signs are on. We're going to turn the packs off at this point and get ready for our pushback and departure. Here's our ramp operative now.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Yep, very American. Lovely American accent here in Croatia.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
It's a mighty beautiful airplane, this, isn't it, with the mask painted on it as well. So we're going to be going tail left, nose right. We'll just let everybody know, or let them know anyway. Split traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey, preparing for push start from stand 4, facing to the west. Split traffic. Good thing if you remember your call sign. Okay, the aircraft is lifting. Front of it is going up. I had a weird one the other day, actually. I think I've mentioned it in a few videos. I get really bad motion sickness, so that's why I can't always enjoy flights and, you know, fast cars and stuff as much as I'd want to. But I was editing a previous video. I think it was the one where I flew in Scandinavia, the chart of this one from Graham Waters. When I was editing the takeoff, and obviously the on-screen movement went up as it rotated, for some reason it messed with my head when I was looking at it in the preview on my video editing software, and it absolutely floored me. Made me feel so sick. It was really weird. Part of my head just told me the monitor was moving. Really, really weird. Nose left, tail right. No, no, that's not right, is it? We need... change direction. Nose right, tail left. Thank God you can do that. Okay. Split traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey, push and start, stand 4, facing to the west. So, let's get ready for engine start then. Switch into ignition. Let's start engine number 1, shall we? Okay, parking brakes set.
Unlocking gear.
Unlocking gear. We have available on the left-hand engine, so let's start the right-hand engine now. Oh, I wondered why there was a bit of noise.
Bypass pin removed.
One of my axes is broken, so it thinks I'm in reverse thrust. I wondered what the racket was all about. Oh, my axis is like broken. Let me just turn off my throttles and back on again.
Prepare for takeoff.
Yeah, why is it in... Whoa. Okay, let me sort out my throttle detents on here, everybody. Yep, I know. I know. I know. I know. I know. It's all good. It's all good. Wow. Are we ready to go? Let's just make sure... Yeah, that looks all fine. All fine. Then reverse. Yep. Cool. Right then. After start checklist. Anti-ice is required. Ecam status checked. Pitch trim is... Oh, I think it's in here, isn't it? Isn't it in Perf B or something? Oh, where was this? Oh, I can't remember where pitch trim was. Is it not down here? Near rudder trim? Oh yeah, pitch trim is the trim wheel, isn't it? But doesn't it say something on it next to it? Rudder trim is neutral as well, so we know that much. Let's go to the procedures list for what we need to do. Engines have started, so flaps set, flaps 1, speed brakes need to get armed. APU bleed comes off and APU master switch comes off. Turn off lights come on. We're going to put the nose lights taxi. Runway turn offs on. We're going to do them when we get to the taxiway, or the holding point anyway. Okay. Split traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey, taxiing runway 05, split traffic. Parking brake off. Start moving a little bit. Auto brake set to max. Let's check the cabin. And let us do a takeoff config test. Takeoff config is normal. Great timing. Right, there was a little little issue there, but yeah, we should be all good. Thanks once again to Tim Weissker for chartering this flight. I'm going to thoroughly enjoy myself in this. Do a little brake test here. Split traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey, entering runway 05. Backtracking runway 05, split traffic. A little bit of a ramp there, up onto the runway. Turn to the left. And we're going to backtrack, go full length. There's nowhere to turn halfway around the runway, so you just got to go all the way to the end of it. Taxi checklist, flight controls. We'll do a check of that just as we straighten up here in a second. That's that little white box down here. So we go full down, full up, full left, full right. Flaps setting confirmed, flaps 1. FMA. We have auto brake max, climbing nav blue, 4000 blue, 1 FD2. Radar and predicted wind shear on. Ecam memo no blue. And then the EFB, well, as required, it'd be in flight mode or whatever. Line up cabin is secure for takeoff. Takeoff runway 05. TCAS to TA and RA. Packs 1 and 2 come off. So let's get that to TA and RA. Nothing else for that before takeoff. We have entered the runway, so really we should have put landing lights on. And runway turn-offs. Going to put nose light to takeoff. Strobe on. And we're going to turn it around here. Split traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey, departing runway 05, split traffic. No action on the radio as of this morning, unfortunately. But that's alright. So we've got landing lights on, everything on in that regard. Let's just make sure that there's no else for me to forget. I think it's pack 2 you turn off, you keep pack 1 on. Before takeoff, yeah, terrain on ND. Auto brakes, transponder, altitude reporting, TCAS, Ecam memo, no blue. Yeah, it's all that stuff that we've just done. Okay, we'll start putting a little bit of power in to push her along. What a fantastic view that is. Look at the hills and everything. It's gorgeous. Okay, up to 50%. Stabilised. Let's go. Okay. Manflex 70 SRS runway auto thrust is blue. Thrust is set. $100 knots. V1, rotate. Positive rate of climb, gear is coming up. And beginning our turn to the right very quickly. Throttles didn't go into man flex very quickly there, it went man MCT. Straighten out this turn. Beautiful. Look at that. Okay, lever into climb. Throttle to climb. And we are heading towards S speed. which means we'll go flap 0. So at this point you would call out to the first officer, flap 0. They've gone flaps clean for us. At this point we're going to put autopilot in. That's interesting. Alpha Flora's come in, it's gone into Toga. Toga lock. Did I put the autopilot in earlier or what? How very strange. There's a constraint there at 180. Yeah, we need pack 2 on. That was weird. Auto throttle got kicked out and all sorts then. Right, okay. So, after takeoff procedures list, I'm on the wrong clipboard. God, I'm all flustered here today. I feel like I'm in control, but no. A little bit out of it with this one. Landing gear came up, flaps are retracted, packs on, speed brakes need to be disarmed, we didn't need those in the end. Nose light comes off, runway turn-offs come off, and then landing lights and seatbelts as required. Right then, I'll give you a beauty shot while I sort all this out. Why does the autopilot keep coming out? What is going on? This is weird. That's really weird, isn't it? I still don't know why it was coming out at all. So let's have a look on the charts then, where we're at the moment. So we're getting to SP802. So if we then go to the chart on here, you can see you've got to be above 9,000. And we are not above 9,000, so let's go to 9. It doesn't seem to think there's a constraint there, actually. Well, we've got 9,000 blue. We'll go into standard pressure. Oh, I didn't square it up like Drew said. I also didn't announce any of my movements on VATSIM when I got over 2,500 feet, but still. Split traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey, climbing flight level 090. At this point we can go all the way up to cruise altitude today, which is, I believe, let's check weight. Yeah, 360. Climbing 360. There we go. Let's push it. Split traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey, climbing flight level 360, split traffic. We've let them know. We'll begin our climb now, and the aircraft will be making all sorts of cool noises. But wow, that was, yeah, a weird one. I don't know where my pen's gone. I tend to note down what happens on my scratch pad, which you can download in the description, by the way, but multiple autopilot disconnects. That is not a good thing to write down in the tech log for the aircraft, is it? Now, as you might have seen in previous videos, especially in the one with Drew, I've mentioned that I've had a few issues with my Thrustmaster TCA stick disconnecting randomly every so often, but yeah, I don't think it necessarily presses buttons to disconnect the autopilot, because there's a big red button on it that disconnects the autopilot. I'm not sure if it's something to do with that, but it says check weight on here. Is the aircraft heavier than it thinks or something? 0 fuel weight 42.5. What does it think on here? With the calculator. Estimated takeoff weight 64.5. Weird. I don't know where you'd find that now. I thought it was in it B. Don't know why it was doing that. That was really, really strange. Another thing I didn't do, I don't think I did anyway, you usually meant to have the perf page open on your MCDU if you're the pilot flying. Pilot monitoring will have the legs and the waypoints and stuff on there. I think they're synced up, yeah, they are synced up. Right then, we are now going through 20,000 feet, climbing up to flight level 360. We are still on VATSIM, just looking at Volanta. This is our little route today. Straight up here, long straight line. and then not a humongous amount to do when we get to Munich. There is still tower online at Munich, which is really cool. So we may get some ATC when we get in there, which I'd be very much looking forward to. They might vector us in as well, so we'll have to behave ourselves, make sure that I'm a good boy. We need to look at things that Drew mentioned as well. Obviously look at things like track mileage that we've got left, think about identifying threats. Obviously the 2 calculations he's taught me are 3 times your height in thousands is the... Wait, hang on. How many miles to descend? It's 3 times your height and then plus 5. So, you know, if you do it at 21,000 feet, you'd be talking 63 miles plus 5, 68 miles to get down. To calculate your vertical speed down, it's 5 times your ground speed, which I think is really, really cool. I like that a lot. Once we get into cruise, we get the airport thing on here, and then he changed it to, I think he had 160 miles, just because that's the sort of range that when you're at cruise altitude you want to be looking at to divert to. Loads of stuff has been learned. Once we get into the cruise, we're obviously going to check all the systems and everything and have a look through there. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy the climb for a little bit longer, and then I'll be back with you in a sec. Making our little turn now at ZDA, which is the Zadar VOR. We were supposed to depart at 10:20 Zulu, but I was a little bit late on the departure. I had a phone call come in just as I was getting prepared to start the video, actually, which took me about 20 minutes behind schedule. It's 11:13 at present, never started that clock. Good old Chaz. We're a little bit behind schedule, to say the least, so it won't be 12 Zulu when we land. Temperature at Munich is now up to 1 degree Celsius. Dew point is 0, so we are definitely going to have some anti-ice on when we get down there. We're still climbing though, up to our cruise altitude of 360, just getting to 29,000 feet right now. And considering we're a long way above 10,000 feet, I've forgotten to turn the landing lights off. Seatbelt signs could come off now as well, so passengers can start roaming around and making cretins of themselves. Keeping an eye on things on Volanta. You can see that's the version of me on VATSIM there that it's picking up. 6 Tango Whiskey. I've noticed there's a notification as well. Darth Vapor. We are now friends. My friend Jack is online as well, actually. Jack Werrell. He's been doing a lot of volunteer ops, especially in ECMBK. He's in at Dubrovnik at the moment. Where's he gone? He's going from Dubrovnik to Barry Carroll Wojtyla Airport. It's a very small flight, that one. That's not the Isle of Barry as in Wales, is it? Going back over to Italy. He's done another flight this morning as well, I think. I just saw him in the air earlier on. Let me just... Oh, Darth Vapor is actually online now. Where are you, Darth Vapor? Oh, wow. Over in China. Look at that. There's a flight. How long's that been? And where are me and Jack again? So yeah, Jack has done... If I go on his profile, he's done a few flights recently. His earlier flight was into Dubrovnik from Lyon. That was his earlier flight. Look at that arrival, as it puts you on a sort of pattern and a path. Minus 207 on the landing as well, not bad at all, Jack. He does quite a lot of screenshots as well, does Jack. He takes a very pretty picture. We're just reaching cruise altitude now, though, 36,000 feet. There it is, Mac Alt. And we should get Mac Alt cruise any second now. Oh, Jack has messaged me, actually, just saying that he's noticed I've spawned in at Split. I was going to say, yeah, I just mentioned you in the video. Okay, we're at cruise altitude now then. I'm going to go and get myself a new drink because I've run out of Beppis. And yeah, enjoy the cruise, everybody. I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back, and admittedly, I mean, you know that I don't record all of the crews all of the time, so stuff happens off camera. We lost a random 1,000 feet all of a sudden, and everything dropped height, and then suddenly the aircraft hopped back up in the air again. Really weird stuff going on today with this flight, but we need to get ready for our top of descent, which is in about 70 miles time. Bear with me. So we need to get the airport information in. Enter destination data should come up soon, so what I'm going to do is just make sure that we've got all that in. So it's 1036.90 at 8, 1036.90 at 8. Temperature I believe is 1, we're going to put that in anyway. Yeah, it's 1, dew point is 0, so we will need anti-ice on the way down. VAP is 121, very slow VAP in the fly-by-wire A320neo. Let's have a look at the chart for the arrival. 130 at NAPSA. So we're going to have 130 as our first altitude step down, and then we need to look at the minimums on the ILS. So the minimums are, well, for everything by the look of it, 1667. So luckily we don't have to scroll like we do in the 737 in the A320. What was it, 130? Sorry, let me just make sure. Yeah, 130. So we're going to put 130 in the box when we get to the top of descent, and we should be all ready for it when the time comes. It's actually gone quite quickly. We've got some gorgeous mountains out to the left hand side, and I'm going to give you a beauty shot of those, and then we'll prepare for our descent. Okay, we now have about 40 miles to our top of descent. If you go on the prog page here, no wait, perf page, see distance there, 40 miles to top of descent. I did have a message off my friend Jack actually, who's still doing another volunteer flight at the moment. We are potentially going to do a flight after this. Not sure if I'm going to record it or not, because I've not got much time today. I was going to do 2 flights today. Today is the day that Assetto Corsa Evo early access comes out, and I need to be recording videos for when the code gets to us at GT Planet a little bit later, so I need to make sure I'm ready for that window and I'm not at 34,000 feet by the time that code comes in. So yeah, I think I might just do a little casual flight with Jack that's maybe an hour or so, just in the UK somewhere, but then I will be getting to the rest of the charters as they come in. I want to say a quick thank you as well to those people that have chartered flights, by the way. Tim Weissker, thank you very much for this one. I have a list on my left hand side here though. Joshua Baker, Maximilian Forst, Chris Humphreys and Thomas Aziri. You all still have charters in the list. They will be done soon, I promise you. I just don't always get a day to sit down for as many hours as these flights and videos take. So yeah, I'm very grateful. Your charters have been received and they will be done. And yeah, for those of you that want a little bit of context on that, by the way, I'm the lead video producer for GT Planet. We do videos on Gran Turismo, Forza, Test Drive Unlimited, Assetto Corsa and so on. I'm their lead video producer, and we're getting an early access code to something, so I need to be able to record that and get some first impressions very, very soon. Still, I hope you're enjoying this flight so far. I'm certainly enjoying it. I love doing this at the end of the day. I absolutely love doing flight sims. It's really, really good fun. Makes you feel great about yourself in terms of, you know, the knowledge of an aircraft, knowing what all the switches and buttons do and everything. It's very simple and straightforward how it affects my brain, but yeah, I'm really enjoying myself, and I hope you all are as well. Okay, we're getting to our top of descent now, so we're going to bring this down. Let me zoom in on it a little bit more for you. Bring this down to 130. We'll give everybody a little announcement over on Unicom. It's Munich traffic, isn't it? Munich traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey, descending on the NAPSA 4 Alpha arrival for runway 08 left, Munich traffic. We might be able to speak to Tower soon as well, if they're still on, that is. Doesn't look like anybody's on actually. Let me have a look on Volanta. Yeah, Munich Tower is not online anymore. Okay, that's fine then. We need to work with people on Unicom, make sure that we all work together as a team. Look at the fantastic view out of the window here. Gorgeous mountains on our left hand side. It's brilliant, isn't it? Okay, 13,000 feet in the box. Throttle is idle, descent alt is blue. Flight level 130 is also blue. Let's pull for an open descent instead of the managed descent. You know, I've done that and we're actually above profile here. We might need some speed brakes in. Let's go back to managed, put some speed brake in. Slow the aircraft down a little bit. It's trying to creep up on the speed. Wow, we are descending silly fast now though. 5,800 feet a minute down. It's catching profile, that's why. Yeah, 6,000 feet a minute down is going to trigger some warnings, surely. There you go, look, it's caught profile, so it's happier to do that now. Wow. That was quite the steep dive, wasn't it? Jesus. Okay, we probably don't need the speed brakes in now, so we'll get rid of those. Although the aircraft was still slowing down. We're below profile. Interested to see what it's doing here. We want 13,000 feet, which, you know, is not everything. We're not going all the way down for it. Yeah, there we go. It's continuing the descent now to catch up with the profile. All is good. Put the seatbelt signs on, and we'll just make sure that there's nothing else needs doing at this point. We need the Barrow ref ready at the other end, which is 1035, so we're going to push this in quickly and then go back to standard. Square that off. God's sake, Drew. We've got that ready. Seatbelt signs are on. Minimums are in. We have minimums as 1667 Barrow. Auto brake. I'm going to go medium auto brakes today. EFB stowed. That's the approach checklist anyway. A little bit ahead of time on that, but at the end of the day, it's better to be ahead of the game. One step ahead of what you're doing, as Drew has told me. We're now starting our little turn to the left here. We need to turn that range down, actually, to be honest. Constraints back on. Flight level 180 and 280 knots. We're on profile with the descent, but we're really fast at the minute. So I'm going to put some more speed brake in. Gone down to half on here. I think Drew told me a while ago, even if you went down to full, only half would come out while you're in the air, just to save it, you know, damaging the aircraft. I remember Drew told me that the runway 08 left will come up on here somewhere. I think it's when you're 50 miles away or 25 miles away. I can't remember the exact number that he gave. When that comes up, we'll put landing system on so it knows what we want from it. It's bringing the speed down nicely now to where we want it. And it's going to get us to flight level 130 just after NAPSA. Right, we need to figure out what we're going to do when we get in, actually, because let's not forget that once we get to OTT, we're going to be going in a straight line, and OTT is, well, not far from now. After this as well, we are going to be going down to our next altitude, which is going to be below flight level 100. We may as well put that in now, actually, because we just need to be below 13,000. Flight level 100 is blue. And then where do we intercept the ILS? What altitude do we intercept that at? 5,000 feet after that. Okay, it's not so bad at all. We're turning left now. Let's just have a quick look then at what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be going in a straight line here. And then the runway heading, bearing is 080. It might be behind my head. It's 080. So we could get to DM 450 and then go direct MAGAT. That'll give us a lot of track mileage to lose. We are currently 70 miles away. And to be fair, we only need, well, 41 miles, so we've got plenty of track mileage to go. So once we get to OTT, we'll continue on below 10,000, so we'll put 5,000 in. We'll go for an open descent. We'll put that in at 2,000 feet a minute. Speed brake's still out. Yep, thank you. Let's get rid of that. We'll also put the anti-ice on at this point just to make sure we're being careful with that. Put landing lights on a little bit early. Get them back down. Seatbelt signs are on. Okay, 2,000 feet a minute down. Probably a little bit fast, actually. What is it, 5 times your ground speed? 1,500? Nope, wrong way. Let's go 1,500 down. Oh, ground speed is 360. So what's that? I can't do maths. 5.6 is 30. That's 300. So 1,800. Munich traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey, descending through 10,000 feet on the NAPSA 4 Alpha arrival for ILS runway 08 left. Munich traffic. Okay, we're well below profile. Speed is coming down now. The aircraft will shallow out the descent because we're getting to 10,000 feet, so obviously we want to be making sure that we're at 250 knots or below. We're just about 58 miles away from the runway, and I'm waiting to see it come up on here before we can put landing system on. We've got our approach checklist sorted as per what Drew said. Let me make sure I've got the right one on my knee. constraints on instead of airports, we've done that. Seatbelts on, landing system as required, ECAM status checked. We didn't check all of our systems earlier on actually, which we should do. We should do this, really. That's all balanced. A little bit more fuel used on the left engine because of the APU. That's all banging. Pressures look sound. Electrics, hydraulics, all good. Yeah, the green, blue and yellow systems, if you lose the blue system, you're going to lose both ailerons, both elevators and rudder. But the green system is backing up those three, not that one. Yellow is the one on the right elevator. So basically yellow, green and blue for these hydraulics are what you want to keep an eye on. So all on decent PSI at the moment.
88 Mike taking off and 08.
So the airport is over to our right hand side at the minute, not that we can see it. There's a lot of cloud. That's why we've got the anti-ice on, because we're going through a lot of moisture. Okay, now we remain in heading. So we're on an open descent. It isn't actually, it hasn't got us on that descent still. Yeah, we don't need to be descending that quickly though. We can shallow that out a little bit now. Let's go for 800. And then we're going to get to Magat and then turn in, I think, because we're going to be easily on the correct path. Although, is that a little bit close? We'll go past it. We'll go to Delta Mike 450. So we'll go direct. Delta Mike 450. Munich traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey heading towards Delta Mike 450 for runway 08 left ILS. Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey, Munich traffic.
Munich traffic, Leipzig Airline, Papa Zulu, taxi over runway 08 left via Whiskey 1, Blue Line, entry November 1, intersection Alpha 4.
Nice, loads of info. Says ice not detected at the moment, it's fine. I'd rather have the anti-ice on than not have it at all. We'll get to DM 450 and then we'll get the aircraft to go in. Will it get? No, it won't let us get rid of that. Okay, that's fine. We'll go to Magat once we get into DM 450. Hello. Oh, cabin pressure's different. Really? Never had that before. Why won't it let me look at these? It's moving up and down loads, look. Is it because of our vertical speed being different? It's just about on the limit of something, isn't it? Landing elevation is to auto. That's mighty annoying. So where's the cabin pressure then? Mode select auto. Let's go manual. Manual vertical speed control. I've never witnessed this before. How strange. It's going really high. Why aren't you on auto, you sod? Do we just turn it up? Or do we turn it down? I don't know what you're telling me because you keep disappearing. Aircraft vertical speed reduce. I don't know what you want me to do. Munich traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey reaching Delta Mike 450, turning onto final runway 08 left. Munich traffic. Okay, so let's go direct. Magat. Let's go. Landing system on. It's got IMNI in there, 10950. Let's start preparing this aircraft to land, shall we? Okay, so auto thrust is on, auto brakes as required, we've got them on medium, flaps will be set. We're going to go flaps full for all of this. Let's start bringing the speed down, shall we? Should have done that a while ago, to be honest. We'll go 200 knots, 200 is blue. We are 28 miles away still though, so we've got a decent amount of time. Minimums are set, we've got them on the PFD. Okay, let's just give him a little warning. Munich traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey on approach to runway 08 left, 25 miles to run. Munich traffic. I see people say it's Munchen, but I don't know if that's right or not. Still, everything is ready to approach. Barrow ref, QNH 1035, seatbelt signs on, minimums are in, auto brakes as required, EFBs are stowed. We can go flap 1 at 200 knots. Let's get her in, shall we? Cabin pressure's all sorted now, which is good. That was really weird though, wasn't it? Cabin vertical speed was moving around then. Because obviously the pressure of that has to match what we're doing. Okay, you can see, look, there's the little blue triangle, which will become a diamond very soon. We're going to remain at 200 knots, and then we're going to do, what is it, Drew said 180 to 6, and then you get gear down, go flaps full, and get her in. Yeah, we've had a few strange little gremlins over this flight, haven't we? But par for the course, I should say. You know, with so many systems and stuff. And at the end of the day, I'm going off Drew's checklist that he sent me, and also the procedures list that I normally use for the fly-by-wire A320neo. So I don't know if there's been some conflict or whether I've missed something because I felt I've checked it on one and not the other. But still, I've never had that cabin warning. I've killed people in the 737 plenty of times by not setting the cabin pressure right and, you know, squeezing them to death. And we're just reaching profile now. That green dot should slow down and match us at the line. Speed is managed. Speed is open, I should say. But speed has come up on there. Auto brake medium should stop us. Let's figure out where we're going to park, actually, where we're going to land. Now, I know that EasyJet and everything parked down there. I think Lufthansa are going to be over here. Let's go to stand 246. Where's my pen? Stand 246. We're going to be taxiing there via November 4 Delta 1. And we're going to vacate the runway. Hopefully, we should be able to vacate at something like Alpha 8. Drew and I took off on Alpha 10 in our previous video. It's great to be back here, actually. Just a video later. QNH I need to write down in there as well, 1035. I often neglect this when I'm recording because I don't give myself enough time to fill it in sometimes. But yeah, we're on our way in. Get to Magat. And then we should be able to pick up the ILS. I'm going to click approach now. There we go. Cat 1, Cat 3 single, localizer is on. The aircraft's just going to line us up. And we should be all good. Once we capture the glide slope, that's when we're going to go to 180, 10 miles. Munich traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey, runway 08 left, 10 mile final. Munich traffic. The cabin's a different pressure again. It's really weird. Don't know what I've set up there to do that. That's just really odd, isn't it? We're on it though. We'll go flap 2. Might get an overspeed warning here. We're told the aircraft to come down to 180. There we go. Okay, let's arm our brakes.
2,500.
We are flap 2. Gears coming down. Flap 3. Flaps full. Munich traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey, runway 08 left, 5 mile final. A lot of cloud, no visibility here. Let's get that speed managed by the aircraft. It's going to drop us right down to our VAP speed now. It does have time to slow down. Right then, we good? What else haven't I done? What have I missed? What have I missed? TCAS needs to go to standby. Speed brakes are armed. Yeah, all good. Oh. Oh, it was never on. Ugh. Let's check the cabin. Okay, runway in sight. Munich traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey, runway 08 left, 3 mile final. Should get our 1000 call out in just a few seconds. And it's time for Charlie Boy to fly the plane. I was just checking, moving the rudder pedals then to make sure my stick hadn't disconnected. Wow, visibility is poor. But we have ice.
1,000.
Autopilot out, my aircraft. Yeah, we have ice because it doesn't say ice not detected on that screen anymore. The A320neo is so stable. We've got a direct headwind of 13 knots as well, which has slowed us down quite greatly. Munich traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey, landing runway 08 left. A little bit above glide slope. Now we're a little bit below it. Moving around a lot on the glide slope here. It's pretty stable otherwise though. Back to Munich. Gloomy weather, nothing like what we had in Split. A little bit over to the right here. Having to move around quite a bit now. That headwind is really slowing the aircraft down. little bit low on the pappies. 2 white, 2 red just now, though. We've triggered it.
Minimum.
Continue. Looking out the window now.
$50, $40, $30, $20. Retard. $10, $5.
Ooh, quite a thud in the end. Let's get those reversers on. Is that going to be Alpha 8? Manual braking, come on, there we go. Flipping heck. God, it didn't want a manual brake then. Is that Alpha 8? Oh, Alpha 5. Munich traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey, vacating runway 08 left at Alpha 5. Munich traffic. Banging. Great landing. Okay, off the runway we go, so landing lights come off. Runway turn-offs off, strobe goes to auto, nose light is on taxi. I had it on takeoff for some reason earlier on. Over the line, and we'll hold short here for just a moment, make sure we clean everything up before we taxi in. There's a line just here. Munich traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey, holding short of Alpha 9. Okay, parking brake is coming on. Let's just make sure that we've got everything sorted, shall we? We need to sort the speed brakes out. Let's get those back up. Flaps go clean. Engine mode is in normal, flaps retracted. TCAS goes into the standby position, like that. That's off, actually, because Chaz is a massive idiot. Radar off. Nope, that's flaps. Come on, get the right view. Radar off. Predicted wind shear off. APU master switch and APU start switch comes on. Master start switch. Start on. Bleed comes on soon. Anti-ice we don't need. Turn the anti-ice off. Nose light taxi, strobe light, auto, runway turn-offs off. Okay. Let's figure out our taxi route into 246. We're going to go Mike. We're just going to go that way. And then 246, let's get the GSX prepared at this end. We are on, is that apron 2? Apron 2. Hit 246. Oh. Have we not got one there that we can use? That's strange, isn't it? Okay, let's try a different one. Try apron 2 satellite, gate 246. Munich traffic, Lufthansa 6 Tango Whiskey, taxiing to stand 246 via November 4, Delta 1. So we're going to go in a straight line and then right. Very simple taxi in. I hope you've enjoyed this flight though. Thank you very much, Tim, once again for chartering this one. It's been quite a challenge this. The aircraft has not been playing ball today, has it? Really not been playing ball. Hopefully next time we're in the Neo it'll be alright. I think the next 2 charters I've got are in the Airbus A320 Neo as well. Then I've got, I think, one in the 737. Another one in the A321, I think. There's an A319 flight planned as well, so there's a good few coming in the Airbus, which I'm happy with. I need to get to grips a little bit more with the 737, to be fair, before I fly it again. But we've got some interesting stuff. One of the charters, actually, that I've got lined up is going to be my first ever cargo flight, my first ever cargo ops, which has been chartered. 246 is over on our left-hand side over here somewhere. And it's Lufthansa gates as well, so I've got it right. Look at all this lot. It's very empty when there's nobody here. It's weird. So we continue down here, and it's the 3rd gate on our left. So we'll be getting to it any second now, actually. Turn the taxi light off. 245. And there's our crew. Turned in a little bit early there. I always do that. I never want to overdo it and go past it. So I very often turn in a little bit too early. We've got auto gate. Not sure how good that's going to be for us. I'm going to just try and line that screw up with the yellow line. Thanks to temporal anti-aliasing, the numbers go all blurry, so it's hard to read them sometimes. Oh wow, we were steaming up to that. I didn't want to come to a stop. I don't like doing that. 0.3 and 0.0, not perfect. Okay, so after this we have shutdown. Parking brake is on, nose light comes off, we've already done that. Runway turn-offs off, APU bleed comes on. We then have engines master 1 and 2 coming off. And the rest of the checklist goes as seatbelts off, beacon off, fuel pumps off. So let's do seatbelts off, beacon off, and then fuel pumps all come off as well. Beautiful. I like it. And then let's get the jetway connected, shall we? We've done that, so operate the jetway. That's going to come towards us, and then we will request deboarding. We have an aircraft taking off over there, which is one of the Microsoft standard swapped in things, but would you look at that? An Airbus A340-600 of Lufthansa. That's so cool. So while it's nice and loud out here, I wanted to say another very, very big thank you to Tim Weissker for chartering this flight today. I've still got a bunch of them left to do, so if you have chartered them, please be patient, they will be coming. As of now, I'm going to be doing Microsoft Flight Simulator videos every week. There's going to be one every Sunday I'm going to try and get out, and hopefully you'll enjoy joining me on them as much as I enjoy doing them. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.